Christian here from Fast Move. What I'm going to discuss today, and hopefully this is going to help. Sorry, office is falling to bits. If you heard that, I do apologise. What I'm going to discuss is, it astounds me and upsets me. Well, it doesn't upset me, but the lack of information out there for first-time buyers. Obviously, I know the estate agent guides them once they get to look at the property that they're interested in, but how much information is really there for them before they get to that stage? This is a huge thing that the first-time buyers are looking to do. Never bought a house, never taken on potentially a loan of this value. So they need to get it right, and they need to make sure they buy the right property for the right price. And I strongly believe, from speaking to a lot of first-time buyers, myself, through selling properties to them, that before they come to us, there's not enough information for them to digest, to just work out what the process is, what they need to do and everything like that. So hopefully this next few minutes is going to help you, all you first time buyers, and obviously the buyers there that haven't maybe bought a house for 10, 15 years. They may have forgot, things may have changed slightly, the dynamics of it might have changed. So really, here we go, and hopefully it'll help. If it doesn't, still thank you for listening. If it does, please drop me a line and tell me, that you've now found the property of your dreams. My advice help. The free content that I try and bring you all the time is helping you. So, like I said, you're with either yourself or your partner or your young family. If that's the case, congratulations. But you're looking to buy a property. So what do you need to do? Well, obviously, if you're lucky enough to have all the money in the bank, or you've been given the money, you don't need a mortgage, then fantastic. Fair play to you, play your cards, you dealt. However, if you need a mortgage, and don't worry, 99.9% recurring of people will do for the first house and maybe the second and the third, you're going to need a mortgage. Yep, you're going to need that dreaded mortgage and that loan, which will seem like an awful lot of money for an awful lot of time, but at the end of the day, it's going to work for you, and it's what you want to do, and it's what a high percentage of the population do. But really, you need to establish, firstly, can you get a mortgage without sounding pessimistic? And secondly, how much can you borrow? Because ultimately, you want to know how much the houses are, what kind of budget you've got. So there's no point looking at a house, say, for example, at 200,000 if you can only borrow 150. All you're doing is wasting your time. So really, you need to establish whether or not you can, get a mortgage, and how much for, really. So first point of call, in my opinion, is to go and see a mortgage broker. Yeah, you might want to go to your bank because they've known you for 15 years and they're going to give you more money. It's not the case, I can assure you. Use a mortgage broker. Granted, some of them may charge, but over the fullness of time, if you do the calculations, the amount they save you on the mortgage product they find you will outweigh the cost of the broker over the fullness of time, if that makes sense. So go and see a broker. They'll be a lot more accessible. Not going to say they'll be a lot more friendly, because that's doing banks disservice, but they'll probably operate outside of 9 to 5 hours. So if you work, they might offer that outside of hours kind of service, which I always go on about. It's hugely important these days, given how crucial it is to go to work to make the money to pay for the mortgage, to pay for the house and the upkeep and the bills that are all coming to you. So you're going to see a broker. What they're going to do is they're going to ask you some basic questions. So they're going to ask you how much you earn, have you got any financial commitments, any credit cards, any loans, any car payments, anything like that, just to establish what the class is your affordability. So how much the bank think you can afford to pay back, and how much they're willing to lend you. Okay, at this point, you don't need to prove your wage slips, or that's going to come later down the line. They just need to ask these basic questions, really. And from there, what the mortgage broker will do is they will generate what's called a decision in principle, which is basically a piece of paper or a document, or however it comes from the bank, to say they're willing to lend you X amount of money based on their initial searches. This will involve a credit check, just to make sure there's no blemishes on your credit file, and also you make sure you have got credit. So that, what I mean by that is, if you haven't ever had credit, you haven't proved you can pay credit back, you won't struggle to get a mortgage, but the amount of doors that open for you won't be as many. I know it sounds mad, you've not ever had a credit card, never had a loan. It sounds fantastic, but what the banks and the lenders and the building societies are looking for is proof that you can actually afford to pay and you've afforded to pay debt back previously, you've been able to manage your finances accordingly. But anyway, so what they're going to do is going to issue a decision in principle, and this document is something that the estate agents will ask for once you have an offer accepted on a property. So that's why I'm saying if you're 110% committed to buying a property, I strongly believe you get this document, this decision in principle, before you go and start making some offers. The reason why, if, for example, you see the perfect house for you, you've been waiting 6 months for it in that particular area, with the garden, in the catchment for the schooling, because you're looking to start a family or have got a young family, and it's got the off-road parking, it's in your price bracket, until you give the agent the decision in principle, that property is going to be available for everybody else until you provide the document. But if you can go with a document in hand, there you go, it's yours, the house will come off the market, as long as you can provide solicitor's details. So you're going to need a solicitor to do all the legalities for you. I know that might sound obvious, but some people don't know that. So again, I'm just trying to be as informative as possible to help as many people as possible. So you're going to need a solicitor to do the legalities on the property that you're buying. Okay, I strongly believe work on recommendation for a solicitor. Don't just go into Google and type cheapest solicitor, because generally in this industry you really do pay for what you get. Believe me, owning a nationwide estate agent, we spend an awful lot of time chasing down bad solicitors on a daily basis to try and up that levels of service to our vendors, whereby they're failing to do it. So we feel sometimes we're doing their job for them because they're that bad, I assure you. So what you need is a solicitor that does one thing very well, and that is communicate. Okay, they need to be able to pick up a phone or answer a telephone, more importantly, when you ring. They don't want to be allergic to that device, that telephone, because I strongly believe, and I keep saying, that a lot of solicitors seem to be allergic to a telephone. They don't pick it up, they don't return a call. They still, some of them astoundingly send letters out, which you'll get 5 days later. Well, I bought houses in a week before, so that just gives you an example. Okay, so you're going to need the solicitor details to provide to the estate agent as well as your ID when you agree to buy the property. So those are the two main things: decision in principle from your broker or your bank if you want to go to your bank. I'm not saying you have to go to a broker, I'm just trying to help, and the solicitor that you're choosing to employ to act for you on your agreed purchase. You need all those details to provide to your estate agent, and that property will come off the market and off you go. Okay, but before that, let's go backwards slightly. Where do you find all these properties? So how do you search for properties? Again, 99% of you might be saying, well, it's obvious, but it's not obvious to everybody. So the first thing to do is go to rightmove.co.uk. That is where 99% of estate agents out there advertise their properties. So Rightmove isn't an estate agent. Rightmove is a platform that estate agents market their properties on. That's why you'll see loads of different names next to the respective properties when you go onto Rightmove. So it's basic filters, postcode, budget, how many bedrooms, things like that, everything you can narrow your search down to, and there you go. That's a list of the properties that match your criteria. So go through them, have a look at the images, have a look at the description. That's what it's there for. It's to save you wasting time. Create a short list from all the properties on there that you want to view, and that's your list to ring the estate agent next to the respective property the following day, book your viewings, and off you go. And that's it. I'm not going to say it's simple, but that's it. Hopefully that's helped. If it hasn't, then still thanks for listening, and hopefully you'll watch my next video. If it has, drop us a line, let us know how you're getting on, or if you've got any questions about the content, or if I haven't given you as much information as what I may have done, or if I haven't described one of the points in the detail you're looking for, drop me a line. I'd be delighted to help you. Have a great evening, and thanks for listening.